Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Fundamental Games game playthrough. Today, I have the exciting honor of being party to play a game of Token Tears with the legendary John De Campos. Hey, John, how's it going today?
Hey Wes, you freaking legend. How are you, man?
I'm doing all right. It's a late night. We're trapped at home, and we're going to play some Token Tears and learn what this amazing game that you have coming to Kickstarter is all about.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'm stoked.
And so I'm going to zoom in a little bit on the creatures here. We're not going to dive into the game just yet. I just want to show anybody who's watching these really cool minis that you have. So there's what, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven of them in the main game. And I know
Well,
you've got.
yeah, to quickly clarify, so these miniatures here have been slightly down rendered from what you'll see in the final product. But that aside, our initial season one offering actually consists of 6 factions, and this little puke green color swap of our goblin sculpt we've called the Swamplins. They're going to be
Okay.
those are a 48-hour flash gift. So if we fund in
Oh,
the first
nice.
48 hours, everybody will get 6 Swamplins and their faction card, and every copy will come for free if we fund early.
Flash funding. That's very cool. And yeah, I agree with the rendering. I've done the same thing when I did my own TTS, is you really have to dumb down the digitization of it for it to actually load properly. So these will be in much higher resolution detail in the real game.
Oh yeah, for sure. But they do function quite well here.
Absolutely. And so I'm just going to take a peek around the background. So John does all of his own art for this game, and he does a terrific job. And he's also making cartoons of some of the factions. I think are you doing one for each faction or just a couple?
Oh man, I'm so glad you asked me about this. Yes, so I was reading about some stuff, and I was listening to the Board Game Design Lab podcast, and somewhere in there, Gabe was talking about a campaign where the artist was behind the game, and he decided to roll out a comic book miniseries about the world of the game during the middle of his campaign to sort of keep up interest during that mid-campaign slump that everybody's worried about.
Right, right.
And I was like, that is absolute genius. I have a ton of lore built into this world already. I love making comics. I haven't had time to make a comic. I'm locked in my house against my will, so it's time. It's time to follow my dreams. So, so yes, I'm doing a 6-part comic book miniseries, one for each faction, 6 chapters in all, called the Chronicles of Chaos, and we're gonna roll those out slowly but surely over the course of the campaign to give people an idea of the world that all of these creatures inhabit.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm glad that the pandemic has given you some time to do something that you love. It's not everybody has that luxury, and it seems like it's working out for you. And I saw some of your fast rendering. So basically, you took all the time it took to do your art comic, and you sped it up to like 60 seconds, and it was really cool to see how you progress through your art. So if anybody gets a chance to check that out, it's really nice to see how an artist goes from start to finish into these type of images that you create.
Yeah, well, thanks. Yeah, I hope it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna maybe I'll put. I'm actually working on the comic for the flying machines now, so maybe I'll release another time lapse video with some voiceover.
Yeah, time lapse is really neat. All right, so we will get started on the game itself. So, what we're going to be doing for anybody that's watching is we're going to play through a game, and kind of in between some of our turns, we'll touch base on some more design questions. So, if you're interested in just seeing how the game's played, this video will do that. If you're interested in some behind the scenes stuff, I'm sure John will indulge us with some of that as well. But we start off with a draft of characters. Is that right, John?
That is correct. So there are 2 dice on the table. You have these teal-colored larger dice. This is called our surge point die, and we're going to use that to track some surge points. But the other one is
Yeah.
our evasion die. So we're just gonna roll the orange evasion die and see who gets the higher outcome.
All right, roll. And the result is 4. And you
I also
have
have
4. That
roll
means
it
I'm
again.
gonna give it a manual roll this time then. There
Oh,
we go.
geez, Louise.
Block.
Oh yeah, I think you got me on this one.
That's quite the spin you had there. Whoa.
Okay,
All
okay.
right, all right.
One
Let-
more
let-
time. Let's not get crazy. What is happening? I can't even deal with this. And then it went back in the bag.
Where is my die? Oh, I threw it into your bag.
I think so, or off the table.
Oh,
Jeez. Here,
I've lost my
take
die.
this one.
All right. You have a 3? Okay, if I roll a 3, we're just gonna quit this. There we go, 4.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so I get to pick a guy. All right, let's zoom in here. Like you said, there's 7 factions right now. There's normally going to be 6, but the Swamplands are kind of a bonus for that Flash Fund, and they're in the TTS as well. If you want to play Tabletop Simulator, absolutely free to learn about the game. But I am a traditionalist, and I know some of these. Your tokens were originally based off Magic the Gathering, and if there's one deck that I absolutely got slammed with too many times, but still love how they work, it's Elves. If you've ever seen an elven army come together in a tribal deck, it's absolutely insane. So we're gonna steal that guy.
Yeah. So when you draft, since you have first pick, you're actually going to take up to 6 of the faction that you would like, and so
All right.
you only get to draw from the one faction pool that you initially choose, but you can take as few as 1 or as many as 6. With yeah, there you go. Okay, so 4 elves. And you're going to take those and actually just drop them into your cemetery bag over here in the corner.
So I can take up to 6, but then the second faction I choose, I'll only have up to 4. Is that right? It'll be
No,
10.
yeah. So the max amount you can have in your army is 10. So with 4 elves, if you did one other faction in your build, you would be able to take 6, and that would round out your army.
Yeah, I think 4 elves will do it. I've got some plans. We'll see what happens.
Okay, all right. Since I draft second, I'm actually going to draft both of my factions back to back, and then you take the last pick. So I'm going to grab.
A la Seven Wonders Duel. That reminds me of.
Sure, yeah. I'm going to take 6 goblins and 4 wyverns, and then the last pick will go to you.
All right. So we're gonna play off classic trope here. We're playing against some evil dudes, so we need some good guys, and there's nothing more good than a white soldier. I mean, we see these guys all over the place, white weenie decks in Magic, which I'm sure these are based off of. So we're gonna grab 6 of these. Is that right?
Yep. Oh, interesting. So we're both doing a melee dominant with range backup. This is
Yeah, I've played against you once before, and I know range plays a part, but sometimes an army of melee can go a long ways.
Oh yeah. So you ready for the crown jewel of our modification on Tabletop Simulator?
Well, I noticed that there's magnetized tabletop. I love that. I use that feature all the time. What else is new?
Go ahead and hit this button that says "Set up game" for me, Wes.
I'm about to be shocked. I'm a tabletop simulator fanatic, and I love to learn. So when I press this, oh, look at that. That is some pretty cool functioning you have there. So by picking my guys and putting them in the bag, you've automatically set up my random draw. And you said that I can do a mulligan if I wanted to, right?
Yeah, so you start the game with 1 surge point. If you really dislike your opening draw, you can spend that surge point to throw them all back in the bag and draw again.
So I'm pretty happy with having 3 soldiers and 2 elves. I think that's a pretty good mix, and that's kind of the perfect ratio of my bag. So we're good.
Cool. All right, so now you are going to place the first token from your starting ranks over here on the side of the table. You'll see that the same way that we drew from these infinite pools over here to select our factions, the ones in our reserves work the same way. So you'll pull off the top from their faction card, and as they run lower, when you hover over it with your mouse, you'll see how many you have. So I can see that you have 3 soldiers and 2 elves in your reserves.
So the one on the side of the table, is that just a vision of what's on my cards?
No, these are your starting ranks. So these are the first 5 we're going to place during the last step of setup, and the ones that are on top of the cards over here, these are our reserves. Yep, they're going to come in.
So I'm pulling off the side of the table. Okay.
Yep.
So off the side of the table, and where can I position it on the board? Does it have to be the front rank here?
Anywhere in the first 2 rows.
In the first 2 rows. All right. Well, melee wants to start further up close. They've got to protect, and they start facing forward, which I believe you call fresh state.
Yes, that means that that particular token can be activated on your turn and is also able to evade range attacks.
Yes, evade, dodging with dice. All right, and you've placed your wyvern already, so I can place my next guy. Yeah, so we're gonna put them side by side here, freshen them up. All right, got a goblin there. Now, if I am playing with an elf, I know I can travel through my own guys. Can I fire an arrow through my own guys?
No, you cannot. And you cannot fire through an enemy to get to another enemy.
All right.
You cannot be obstructed by anything.
All right. Third one is placed.
So the third soldier is going to come out. We're going to have to see where he lands.
Oh, we're saving him for last.
Yeah.
Goblin power. All right, elf. We're looking at you, goblins. We're not going to let you survive this battle.
We'll see.
So in this game, anytime there are the same faction grouped next to one another, they become more powerful. And what's the phrase for that again?
It's called their threat level.
Their
Rather
threat
than
level.
have a for a game that we wanted to keep the pacing up. So for something where there would be a rating of a power toughness akin to what you would see in a game like Magic, we just decided to trim that down to one number. So when damage is exchanged against defense, you just compare the two numbers based on who's attacking.
Yeah. Very good. Well, I'm set up. You sound dismayed.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I'll figure it out. I had an opening move.
Oh, I see.
All right. So then you would go. The battle is afoot. We are all set up.
Excellent. And so you have on the tabletop a quick reference guide that reminds me exactly what to do on my turn. So I absolutely love that. Is that coming inside the box?
Oh yes, sir. You're gonna get two of those. They're gonna be double-sided. I'm considering possibly adding some more stuff to it, but yeah, for right now they're doing their thing.
Great. And they're going to be the same size as the tiles that you put your guys on. So that's cool.
Yep.
So I have the elves, and they have their token talents are teamwork. So you can use what you call is it a surge point I would use for that?
No, actually. So each of your token talents cost one command unless otherwise noted. So they work just like every other command that you issue. They're just like move and battle and enrage, except for that each of them can only be done once per turn.
Yeah, and I'm allowed to have 3 commands every single turn with a single faction. So I have to choose at the beginning of my turn what faction I want to play with, right?
Actually, you choose one token, not a faction. So you
activate. Single token.
Yeah, a single token. So you activate a single dude, and you command it 3 times, and then if you want to issue additional commands after you use your starting 3, you can spend surge points to issue additional commands at a cost of 1 surge point per command. And then if you want to gain more surge points once you're done commanding the token, you can rest the token, turning it to face its controller like this, and you'll gain a surge point as soon as you do that.
Yeah. Right on. So earning surge points is through dash by moving that single token up to 3 spaces or to rest. All right. So now these soldiers have a special power called March, which is I was kind of looking at when I was setting up, and they can move up to 2 other soldiers up to 2 spaces each.
Yeah, they're great.
We're going to try a special maneuver here, and I could be dead wrong advancing like I'm going to, but it's trial and error, and I love to learn. So what I may do is for my first command, I could command these 2 to move forward 1 square each for a single action. Is that right?
So if you could just state which token you're activating on your turn.
Oh, I'm activating this guy.
Okay, great. So then you issue March, and these guys each move 1 space. All right, I'm with you so far.
Yep. So that's my first command, and my second command could be to move this guy forward.
Sure.
And then for a third command, if I really wanted a surge point, I could, at the end of activation, rest my active token. Is that going to make him any weaker to attacks from you?
It'll make it so that he will not be able to roll to evade.
Okay, so if you decide to flash him with your wyvern, you might just shoot him dead on the spot because he's busy sleeping.
Yes, but to also keep in mind, this guy is getting a +2 bonus for his threat. So he's currently a 3.
And most threat you can get. Oh, go ahead.
Also, just want to remind you that you still have to issue your third starting command before you can think about resting or ending your turn.
Yeah, because I've only moved forward once. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you've done 2 things. You issued March and you moved 1. So.
Yeah, exactly.
If you actually wanted to press the advance, you could actually move all 3 of them up to here. That's a very common tactic with the soldiers. Is you move your active token twice, issue March for your third command, move the other 2, and kind of get into position.
Yeah, I think that is how we're going to start off this game. So all 3 of them will be in this spot because of that, right?
Yep.
All right. The pressure is on, John. I pass the turn to you, although I can rest this guy. So I can rotate this guy, and that's going to earn me my first surge point.
Yep, you got it.
All right. So I should be at 2 points
2.
because I started with 1. Okay.
Uh-huh. You
All
actually,
right.
this is actually very interesting. Um, what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate this goblin on my turn. He is going to move twice, and then I'm going to use my third command as well as my single surge point to issue a blindside melee attack, which will deal 2 damage diagonally, and you cannot return damage, and I will kill this soldier on the end right here.
That was a quick way to dispose of my soldier. And do I put those in a pile over here, kind of like a dead zone?
That guy goes in your cemetery bag.
Oh, cemetery. Okay. Crushed him. Just like that.
I am worried about your L, so I'm going to decline the rest, and I'm going to pass turn.
All right. So you've got an army of goblins. Now, if I want to recruit a new guy, so on my turn I can refresh, I can activate, spend commands, rest, reinforce. If you have, so I can only get more guys from my sideline if I have less than 4 on the table.
Right, and that also happens at the end of your turn, but added bonus, they enter on any unoccupied edge space.
Yeah, so all around the board you can really develop your tactics that way. Now, I am not a fan of your birds, and so I start my turn, I can refresh if any friendly tokens are resting or readied, I can now refresh them. So this guy will return to his regular state with no action required.
Correct.
All right. And then I have to decide what I want to activate with. So I think I'm going to activate this soldier. That's going to be my dude for the turn. Now.
And remember when we were reviewing like augmented base attacks. So range guys can always spend 2 commands to have a range guy do a sure shot range attack that can only be evaded if the defender rolls a 6. And all melee factions can do what I just did with the goblin, which is the diagonal melee blindside attack.
Right. All right. So my first action could be, and I'm probably going to open myself up to attack, but that's okay. We're going to see how it rolls through. If I move this guy here, he can then cause this guy to march here.
Yeah.
The second action, and a third action, I can attack the wyvern.
You have killed my bird, sir.
Now, I do have the option to use my surge points for extra actions, correct?
Yep. So yeah, you could issue 2 more commands this turn if you zero it out.
If I want to zero it out. And that's one of the cool things about your game is you have to decide if you want to lay low in the beginning of the game and pile high near the end, or if you want to kind of use a few each turn, depending on how you earn them. So you really got to be strategic now. I'm still with this guy, and I have 0 actions left at this point. So if I wanted to spend up to 2 actions, could I take this guy out?
Nope.
I cannot move diagonal, so that would take 2 actions alone, so I really can't get to him. Okay. And I've left my elves open to the goblin attack, so I may have hurt myself there. Now, if I wanted to earn another surge point, I could turn this guy around at the end of the turn.
Yep, that guy can rest, kind of take a moment to himself, kind of gather himself, So
that's the plan. He's charged forward twice. He's now rested twice, and it's your game. What's going to happen?
What's going to happen is I'm going to go move. Wait.
Ooh.
Move. No. I don't like this at all.
This flashy bird. The soldiers have their eye.
I'm going to go move to earn a surge and complete a dash.
Yep.
And then
so dash on here says you move to a unique space 3 consecutive times and you earn a surge point. So you use 3 actions on your move and you get a bonus surge point.
Yep. And then this bird's going to rest to earn me a second surge point, and then I'm going to hit my reinforce step. Bam.
Reinforce is if you have, is that 4 or less, or I thought it was?
Yep, it's 4 or less. So when I ended my turn, I only had 4 guys out, so I reinforced until I had 5.
So should I have done that last turn? Sorry, I missed that.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I should have reminded you of that.
Okay, so I'm just going to plop this guy on the board over here.
Yep. Totally cool.
Or would it made a difference to you if I had put him over here?
Yeah, I would have probably, probably not. I would have probably played the same turn.
Okay, so I'll put that guy there then.
Because the only thing I would have done differently is maybe use my goblins to get after that guy, but I see that the elven threat is right there. So, that's kind of a push your luck situation if I want to run those goblins in, which I'm thinking about doing soon. But before that happens, I want to get my surge points up.
Understood. All right, so that is the end of your turn. You've super
Yep.
surged, you've got a new troop, and now
I
you're a
like
little
that, Wes. A super surge.
super
Okay.
surge.
Yeah, when you use your turn to gain 2 surge points, I'm gonna just super surge real quick and then pass turn.
That's right. New mechanic names coming up as we play. All right. I haven't touched my elves yet, but your goblins are looking very fodderish right now. So as I zoom in on the board and rotate around, I think I have an opening here that I have to take advantage of.
Don't forget to refresh your soldier.
Oh, yes. Now, your wyverns might start picking off my soldiers, but let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Tell me if this is right. 1, 2, 3, which
That's
is
a
considered a super surge,
well, that's a dash.
a dash.
That's
So
just a
if I move
dash.
3 consecutive times, do
And
I earn a surge point?
yep, you earn a surge point instantaneously. Now, if you were to rest immediately after that, that would be a super surge. But
Oh, I see. So now I'm going to use a surge point. So I'm
uh-huh.
down to 3 again. And then
Yeah.
I'm going to fire at this goblin here.
So they're gonna trade melee damage at each other. Can I make a recommendation?
Yes. I should have gone diagonal, right?
No, well, I mean, you could have done that, but you would have had to do 4. You would have had to use 4 commands to do that. No, your turn is totally cool. I would just spend 1 more surge point to enrage the soldier first to raise his threat by 1 until the next time he attacks, retaliates, or gets destroyed, and then
Yeah, because
and then
what I'd
attack.
misread is I'd misread that my threat level was 3 because there's 3 guys, but no, this guy's threat level is 3. This guy's only 2.
Correct, because he's only got 1 buddy next to him.
Yeah. So if I up mine, I kill your guy, and my guy's enraged.
Yeah, well, so the enrage effect ends as soon as you complete the attack.
Okay.
So he's no longer enraged. So enrage lasts until the next time you attack, the next time you retaliate, or until you become destroyed or become refreshed.
All right. And then this guy can't rest because he attacked, right?
Nope, he can rest. You can rest him if you want.
But I still have 2 surge points left.
Yes, you could use those to get those soldiers away from my goblins if you wanted to.
Yeah. This guy could be picked off.
If you end your turn right now, that guy's dead.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right
That
now.
that a sacrifice I'm willing to make. I don't know.
Because you haven't issued March this turn, so you can still do it. Or
Yeah.
better yet, since you're no longer ready from the enrage, issue phalanx and bust up his toughness so that he's a little stronger. So he has a standing +1. You can even march and then phalanx to just get the corner of that formation much stronger to see if you can buy yourself a little time.
You're just piling on the commands, aren't you?
Yeah, use them all.
All right. So Phalanx says that I ready the soldier while ready. This way, the next time he battles or retaliates, it gets +1 threat for each friendly surrounding soldier. And so ready would make sure I rotate him 90 degrees. That would state that he's in a ready state. And so he's going to have that bonus until the next time he battles or retaliates, whether it's me or you that initiates that combat.
Yeah, so now that he's readied, if you leave him in that state, he'll stay that way until you either refresh him or he retaliates or gets destroyed. You
Yeah.
won't be able to if you leave him that way though, and you don't refresh him during your refresh step, he'll maintain that bonus, but you can't activate him on your turn.
Okay. And then you've got the most you can do damage to him is 2 unless you have a superpower. You have +1 threat for each surrounding. You have an incite. So my guy's still in danger. And sorry, I'm down to 1 surge point. So if I use that final surge point, then I can move my soldiers 1 each, right?
Yep. No, you can move them up to 2 spaces each.
So I can move this guy here and this guy here.
There you go.
So there we go. We'll end my turn.
So that guy is now, he's a standing 3, and he's getting +1 for each surrounding soldier. So he's a 5.
He's tough, but these guys could be picked off.
This is true. But let's see what I'm going to try and do here.
All right. You got to
So
choose your
first,
faction.
yeah, I'm going to hit my refresh step. Whoops, wrong guy. Oh yeah. I'm going to activate this wyvern right here.
Yep.
I'm going to do the token talent take flight and immediately move exactly 3 spaces.
Love it.
Then
Very
I'm
thematic
going
for that type of thing. That's
Thank
probably
you.
your furthest moving character type, right?
It is. But the thing about wyverns is they have 0 group movement. There is nothing I can do to make another wyvern do stuff. I can only command 1 each turn.
The bird flies alone.
Yep. The eagle has landed. I'm going to do rush as my second command to increase its next battle range to 3 spaces away. Then I'm going to
dead
spend
elf.
my... Yep. Well, hold on. I'm gonna spend my third command to issue and pair it with a surge point to do a sure shot range attack. So you now need to roll a 6 to evade 1 damage from 3 spaces away.
I can do that. That's
All right,
possible.
let's see it happen, man. I would be really happy if it did.
Come on, Elven sharpshooters. You see this coming a mile away.
Wait, you don't do the roll where you just press R?
I like to roll it, man. Come on.
Okay, you're a purist. I can dig it. That's cool.
My next game is all about dice. I mean, I got to roll them.
Sure, yeah. So yeah, good thing I made that a sure shot attack. That elf is dust.
Yeah, he would have survived if I had not, if you didn't do the sure shot. So that was a worthy use of your point.
And then I'm gonna leave that wyvern fresh and reinforce.
Ooh, look at that. Smooth move.
And then I will pass my turn.
All right. So I've got 3 wyverns on the board, which are all kind of messy. I could leave my elf there to suffer a death alone as the soldiers continue their march on the goblins.
Well, you'll reinforce next to that elf at the end of your turn, no matter what happens, right? I mean, why wouldn't it?
Yeah. So it doesn't matter what faction I have, I can still reinforce
Hey, man,
now.
you know, that elf, he might be right for a super surge.
I could use some surge points.
Yeah, I mean, you have 0 surge points. You can super surge.
Yeah. But I'm feeling aggro against these red goblins. I don't know if it's their color or what, but I think can I pick one off?
So yeah, just
he could do a diagonal attack.
So the guy that you have still in the ready state, unless you refresh him, he's going to stay that way, and he's going to maintain that phalanx boost. What I usually do when I start doing phalanx with soldiers is just use it as a threat bonus anchor, and kind of try to use my active soldier and march to keep some guys sort of buzzing around him and dealing damage as people try to break my defenses.
So kind of one of the things that may be beneficial is if I move this guy 1, 2 and attack, I get the extra boost from this guy.
Yeah, you'd need to enrage that active soldier though so that he doesn't die, but yes.
Oh, because he doesn't get the extra. So even though this guy has a boost, he doesn't apply it to this guy.
Yeah, because he can't be activated on your turn. He's in the ready state. He's holding the phalanx formation.
He's holding the phalanx. So while ready, the next time this one's red, sure. So he's just he helps himself. The others being around him is a boost.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, you can start phalanxing all of them, and then it's just a crazy puzzle for me to solve how I'm going to figure out how to kill them without just eating up all my forces.
Yeah. Now, there is a way for me to battle diagonal. That takes 2 actions.
Yes, that's with any melee faction, but also the elves are the one range faction that breaks the only in a straight line attack rule. They can attack diagonally 2 spaces away. Right. Using their sharpshooter ability.
So many decisions, see? And that's what I love about the game is that every single action has so many choices, so you never know if you're doing the right thing or not.
I kind of see what I agree with you. Like I like to get the game familiar with players to the point where they are 100% sure they're doing the right thing, and then no, they were totally wrong. They get completely outsmarted on the next move. Like they think they know, but they don't know because their opponent is that much more proficient.
Yeah. Okay. The next time they self-battle is this turn. It battles diagonally at range 2, sharpshooter. Range 2.
So yeah, elves can hit all of these spaces.
Yep. But there's nothing there. Okay, let me just look at my abilities one more time.
Sure.
I hate asking for advice. I like to stubborn my way through and watch myself fail. It's just
I'm with you.
what I do.
I want to make sure that people have a good experience when they play the game, so I try to be judicious in when I open my mouth.
All right. Okay. I think I have an idea. What? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's not 4. 1, 2, 1. Okay. 1, 2. I have 0 surge points right now.
You have 0.
E.
I have 1.
Yeah. And rage. Okay. I think I can't activate that guy. 1, 2. We take the third turn rage, so that's not going to work either. All right. We will attempt your super surge then. So I can dash 3 and then rest him. 1, 2, 3, and rest will get me 2 surge points.
That's right. Super surge.
Okay, we'll do that. We're just going to play it easy. I know I took a long time to think about that, and then I'm going to bring this elf over here to support this elf. And then this guy returns to a state at the next turn, so it's now your turn.
Yeah, those goblins are looking a little cornered.
Yeah, there's a whole army of birds over here that I'm really worried about, but at least I have the goblins in a tough spot. Now, I'll interrupt your train of thought real quick to just ask, I referenced Magic a few times. Were all of your tokens based on Magic the Gathering creature types? Because I know you were planning on using these tokens as a marketing or product for that line.
Yeah, actually, this game didn't exist until we finished all of the designs for the first line of minis. They were initially invented to be a dice-sized, durable, inexpensive, and plentiful token creature representation of Magic the Gathering.
Instead of cards, that special way that you can rotate them really helped with that tap function.
Yeah, thank you.
Like how you. That's kind of how you incorporate it into your game design, which was neat.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm thinking about doing this. All right, yeah, it's got to happen. 1, 2, 3 to dash, earn a surge point, and then I'm going to spend that to enable and have this goblin move 1 space and then become enraged. And then I'm going to rest this goblin.
So enrage is a function anybody can do, and he has +1 threat for how long?
Until he until he's no longer in the ready state.
So it's almost like phalanx, but just for himself.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah, exactly. It's just raising his threat by 1. So this guy's a 3.
Yep, understood. He's a tough little monkey.
That'll be the end of my turn.
Okay.
But yeah, as far as the Magic the Gathering stuff, yeah, since we initially designed them for that purpose, and we also thought, they'd also make really great minions in D&D, so we tried to style them sort of generically so that you can kind of imprint certain qualities onto them fairly easily. And the biggest thing for me was that, like, at least in the Magic the Gathering setting, the stuff that they'd done for miniatures and token representations was just kind of not what I wanted. It was the main thing is that they did the forced scarcity model that they do with the booster packs, and it just doesn't make any sense to me because people who use tokens in the way that they're kind of intended to be, where you're raising these giant armies of them, like, you have a lot of them. So
yeah, you don't want to have 52 cards on the table if you can avoid it. So it's nice to have the cards or the tokens to represent that.
Yeah, and also you can just toss these in a dice bag. But yeah, we designed them all from the ground up and just kind of took influences from a couple different places. But as far as the type of creature we chose, we absolutely were informed by what we thought were the most ubiquitous within Magic the Gathering for sure.
Awesome. I might have played that for over 20 years, so I know a little bit about that game.
Dude,
All
I
right.
love my. Go ahead.
What's that?
No, I was just saying, like, I really love my mono red tribal goblin deck, and playing with these, like, when we first got them done and using them with that deck just felt really great.
Nice. Okay, I've decided on an attack, and I don't know if you're expecting this, but I think it's going to hurt.
Okay.
So step one, I'm going to activate this elf and move him. First, I have to rotate him.
So he's
Then I'm going
refreshed.
to move him. He's refreshed. I'm going to move him one for my first command. For his second command, I'm going to move this elf one. So that
teamwork.
is the teamwork command.
Yeah.
And for my third command, I'm going to shoot diagonal this wyvern, but I'm going to use a surge point to do sharpshooter.
I like it. Very spicy.
So you have to roll a 6.
That's the ticket. Come on.
Oh, there's another 5.
So close.
Now, even though you had a 2-threat and I had a 2-threat, because it's ranged, you don't retaliate.
Actually, the reason that I don't retaliate is because you're attacking diagonally.
Because it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you would have triggered a reaction. You would have triggered a retaliation, but retaliations from range attacks only happen 2 spaces away in a straight line orthogonally.
Right.
So
okay, and I can still rest.
Yep, you can rest.
Okay, so that'll get me one more surge point, and that's the end of my turn. And I will be back up to 2 surge.
Alrighty, I'm gonna activate this wyvern. First, I'm gonna leave that goblin enraged. I'm not gonna refresh him. I am gonna refresh this goblin for whatever reason. I'm not activating him. I'm not activating him this turn, and he's not going to get attacked by range anytime soon. But it's just best to leave him refreshed anyway, because he doesn't need to stay the way he is. Then I'm going to activate this wyvern and issue the token talent rush to move 3 spaces, or take flight. Sorry. Then I'm going to enrage this wyvern, and then I'm going to battle your elf.
Ouch. So I have to roll a 6.
So no, this guy is resting, so he does not get a chance to evade.
Oh, so he's just dead.
He's just toast.
Ouch. Into the cemetery bag he goes. It was a good shot. You took out a wyvern before you passed away.
Are you ready for this, though? I'm going to spend my last 2 surge points to do rush and battle again and attack this elf.
And you can attack from that far away?
I issued the token talent rush. So it increases his range up to 3. And then I use my last surge point to issue a battle command.
Brutal.
Oh, wait. Yeah. That guy gets to evade, though. He's fresh.
Oh, so I have to roll 4, 5, or 6?
Yep.
All right. Come on, big money. 3. Oh, I pressed R1 too many times.
And then I'm going to rest this dude and hit my reinforced step. And pass the turn.
Okay, we're in trouble now. One question I had, I'm staring at the board from a bird's eye view, and I notice most boards that are a grid shape are even numbered. So usually if you think chess or checkers or Othello or any of those games, it's always even numbered, like 8x8 or 10x10. But yours is 7 across by 7 across. What made you decide to go with an odd numbered grid?
Just it was about the end game mostly. We messed around with some different sizes. And when you're down to 1 versus 1 token, you want to be able to limit the amount of ground they can run away and retreat with.
Yep.
Also, we thought that because the maximum amount of any one faction you can have is 6, but the most you can have out at a time is 5, that it created some interesting choices during the initial setup and placement.
Yep.
Often because there's never more than a group movement cluster. Like with the soldiers, they're doing 3 at a kind. So, there's a small dash of puzzle action that sometimes can happen when things get all crammed up in a corner. That's kind of interesting.
Yep.
But yeah, it's got a bunch of different reasons. But yeah, 7 just seemed like the right fit for us.
Very cool. I'm looking at your instruction manual on the side here, which I think is a fantastic innovation that you guys threw into your TTS. So
that's Mr. Super Jolly, the guy who did our modifications.
Yeah. 2 commands to blindside, battle an enemy in a surrounding space. Blindside attacks take no return damage. I love that part of the game. So if I can do a blindside attack, I don't have to worry about your threat level. Is that right?
That is correct, because you can, if you have enough commands, you could walk up with a threat level 1 and just blindside it as many times as you need to get it dead.
So what I planned is with this soldier here, I activate him, I move 1 and blindside this guy, costing me no surge points, and he takes a loss.
It. He's dead.
All right. Now I could use my extra 2 surge points to try to do something else. But I don't think I could do enough to make it worthwhile. So I could rest this guy and at least get myself 1 more surge point. And that'll be your turn. Oh, wait, first I get to place a guy. I have 2 soldiers left, 1 elf, and you have lots going on.
I got 2 goblins and one wyvern. I'm only leading you by a 1 token margin.
Just 1, all right.
Also, you're going to reinforce 2 from your reserves. You have to reinforce until you have 5 out.
Oh, I did not know that. That was okay. So that shows up on your turn. Reinforce if you have 4 or fewer tokens. Place tokens from your reserve until you have 5. And because you laid a beating on me last turn, I get the benefit of 2 guys. All right.
And you get field advantage because you can just drop them wherever you want.
Yep. Okay. And now let me take a look at your bird again. Range of 3. So you cannot increase the threat level of your bird unless you enrage it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take out my soldiers and kind of force a play on you. You have no choice but to do something with your bird, otherwise it's dead.
This is true.
Actually, I'm going to put this guy on this side.
Okay, cool. Going all soldiers.
All soldiers. I only have 1 elf left, so there were not many choices left.
On that note, are you ready for the bombastic turn?
Well, I noticed you have 1 surge point, so let's see what you come up with.
Yeah. I'm going to dash over to here. And then I'm going to use the surge point I just earned to issue take flight and move another 3 spaces down.
Run away!
Yep, and then I'm going to rest this guy to earn a surge and reinforce.
That's your final bird.
That's my final bird. So yeah, they turn red when you run out.
Very cool.
Except you can't tell with the goblins though.
Yeah, it's like I should have more goblins.
Yeah. That's it for me, man.
All right, so at least I got the birds away. I don't know if what I'm doing is going to work, but you can pick them off slowly if I don't do something soon.
If you stick together, if you can group those other 2 with the 3 you already have out, you'll be in good shape.
So, and
that's actually something that is kind of, unless you're controlling the flying machines, having more than 3 of any one faction on the board at any one time is sort of something that doesn't happen a lot.
So I'm going to activate this soldier here, or not first I'll refresh him, then I will activate him, and he's going to use his first command to march these guys. So 1, 2, 1, 2. And then I will move this guy. No. So he's used 1 action so far. This would be the second action. And then third action, I could march again.
Nope. You can only use each token talent once per turn.
Okay. So I will take that back. So far I've used 1 command, and that was the token talent for march. Okay.
Yeah, if you wanted to try and tighten up the formation a little bit, you could use your other 2 commands to put him in this corner over here and then rest him to earn a surge. He'll get that +2 bonus for threat, so low chance I'll mess with him, but keep in mind I got these goblins over here, it's all kind of risky.
All right, I'm gonna reset.
All right.
This guy's still refreshed. I haven't done any crazy actions to ruin the board yet, so I'm gonna rethink this. Now,
This guy here is currently a threat level 2. This guy is a 3. And this guy is a 2.
This guy's actually a 4. He's still enraged from before.
Beefcake. Okay. Brutal. They're so close yet so far away. Oh yeah, and this guy's the.
He's still tracking here. Phalanx. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's still getting that +2 bonus.
Ooh.
On top of the one he already has. So yeah, that guy's a 4.
Yep. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and then I can double surge to knock this guy out.
So you go 1, 2, 3, and then you spend 2 of your surge points to blindside this goblin?
Yep.
All right, roger that.
I've got 1 surge point left, and I'm still allowed to refresh if I wish?
No, you can still attack. You can still spend that 1 surge point to do another thing.
Or not refresh, rest.
You can rest him, yeah. You can rest that guy.
But then your birds, he's at the mercy of your birds.
Yes.
Okay, with my surge, I could not. Oh, I see. I could just take him out 1 for 1. No, because he can't attack diagonal because I've only got 1 surge, and it takes 2 to attack diagonal, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I will leave it in that state then. I'll leave him ready just to extra defense against the wyvern.
Very good. I am going to refresh this goblin.
So he's out of his special state. He's back down to a 2.
Yep. Then I'm going to use my first. I'm activating this goblin. My first command is going to be to activate Insight. So the next time this goblin battles this turn, he will get +1 threat for each surrounding enemy. I will. So
does he go to does he rotate? Yeah. Okay.
Nope, he doesn't. He doesn't ready. It's just the next time he attacks, this will trigger.
Okay.
So right now he's getting a +1 from this guy. Let me back up. I'm not gonna issue Insight yet. I'm gonna go ahead and blindside this soldier.
So take 2 actions, blindside him. This guy's dead.
Yeah. And then I messed that turn up. I'll just enrage this goblin. Actually, I'll do enable and move this guy 2 over.
It enables your other token power. Yeah.
Yep.
So you use 2 actions, 3 actions now.
Yep. That's it. That's my 3 turns, and then I'm going to rest and earn a surge point and pass turn. But before I pass turn too much, I'm going to go ahead and reinforce.
All right.
I had a big plan brewing for that turn, but I was just a little short on surge points to make it as spectacular as I would have liked.
Right. But now I'm at the mercy of these goblins. Well, they can't all move at once, which is a good thing. Okay, I will activate this guy. He'll move 1, 2, and then he'll use his march to move this guy 2. So that's 3 actions. I've got 1 surge point, but not exactly sure. I don't think I want to use that. So I'm just going to bring out my elf and call it a turn. The elf will go here.
Okay. I am going to activate this goblin and do a dash. Right there. Go to 4
into the heart of the white soldiers.
Yeah. So I complete a dash with those 3 moves and earn a surge, go to 4. Then I'll drop down to 3 and activate Insight, which makes it so his next attack gets a +1 bonus for all surrounding enemies, which is currently 4. So this guy is a 5.
He's huge.
Yeah, he's real pissed off.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to. What is the most effective here? I have 3 commands left. Yeah, I'm going to kill this soldier right here.
Righto.
So now he drops back down to a 1. That used a command, and then I'll use the remaining 2 to blindside this soldier.
Ouch. That guy went on a mission.
Then I'm gonna rest this goblin and earn 1 surge and pass the turn.
Okay.
Little 2 for 1 deal.
Yeah, that really decimated my army fast. And I've got nothing left in my reserves. Neither do you, so everything we own is on the board. And it's currently 5 against 3, so I think the future of this battle is pretty much determined. But I'll take a few more guys out before I perish.
I beg to differ. I gotta say, you don't. I've played this game so many times, and I've thought what you're thinking a lot of times too, and it doesn't always end up that way. I can make one bad mistake. Like right now, both of these goblins all 3 of my goblins are feasibly, like if you had 2 more surge points, you could maybe take at least 2 of them off the board, if not all 3. Like it's not right now. These guys are defensively weak. It really depends on like how much you can get out of your turns and how you allocate surge points. I think you could come back personally.
All right. Well, I will try something here. I really need to make these elves matter because they've done almost nothing this game. So this guy's gonna go 1, 2, 3.
Dash.
That'll give me a surge point, right?
Yeah.
Then I can use that surge point to fire an arrow at this goblin, but you get a chance to defend. And I'm not going to sharpshooter. I'm going to rely on the power of luck to hope that I don't have to use all my surge points. So I'm down to 1 surge attacking.
Nope. I rolled a 5.
So you got to evade.
Yep.
And I've got 1 surge point left. Okay. And you got to actually position yourself even better than you already were.
Yeah.
So I will rest my elf, gain a surge point, and it's your turn. So it was a desperate attempt, and it failed.
I'm going to dash to earn a surge, and then spend them both to enrage battle.
That guy is dead.
Took your range game off the table.
Yes.
And then I actually have a goblin left. I am now out of reserves, and I pass turn.
Brutal.
Oh, why am I putting a guy out? I already have 5 out. Excuse me.
Too many dudes.
Yeah. Flying machine.
All right.
But that's it.
So I'm going to activate this soldier.
Yeah.
I'm going to blindside this guy, your red guy in the corner there.
Yep.
And then I will attack this guy.
Well, look at that.
So that used 3 of my moves. I still have 2 surge points. I could phalanx, but then my guys are kind of stuck in place, so that doesn't make sense to do.
Yeah.
If I rest, your wyvern's just going to pick him off. So I've used my 3 basic moves. I'll leave it at that. We're going to stay stuck in the middle.
Okay. And this guy is a 3 currently.
Yeah.
Super surge.
Just building up those extra turn points, aren't you?
Got to. Now I reinforce a goblin.
Yes, you do.
All right. 4 to 2.
All right.
Bring it, man.
1, 2. This guy's back to a regular state now.
Okay.
So that's 2 moves. Oh, I'm just leaving him right at your mercy. 3, 4, blindside.
Well, okay.
And pass the turn.
Wait, so this guy blindside, he's a 2.
Oh, and I'm only a 1. Okay, wait. So in order to do that, what I was going to do is bring this guy over
March, right?
as a march, so that'll
And
use up
then
one of
use
my
both of
surge.
them to bond. Okay, gotcha. Okay, cool.
So did I use the right amount of points there?
You would be at 0.
Yeah, okay. So go ahead.
I'm gonna go move, incite. That's all 3 of my starting commands. So he gets +2, and I will. He's a 3. I'll attack your soldier. This one right here.
3 against 2. Can't stop that.
Then I'm gonna rest this goblin.
Righto. My turn.
Yeah, I did move, incite, battle, rest. Yep, that's it.
Okay, so I'll do 2 for a blind side on your resting goblin. Stab him in his teeny little head.
Yeah.
And with my final move, I will step away. Pass the turn. It's 1 soldier against 2 wyverns. I think there's a pretty good chance I'm going to get picked off from a distance here.
Probably. Let's see. I'm gonna.
Considering you have 3 surge points.
Right, but I have no group movement. So basically, if you roll a 6 on this, if I can get a sure shot attack off, which I definitely can, and you roll a 6 to evade, then we'll see what's up. Okay, because you could.
All right.
I will have spread my forces apart so that on your next turn you would almost certainly be able to kill the one I just activated.
And all right, bring it.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to issue take flight to move 3 spaces. Then I'm going to sure shot battle your soldier.
All right. We have a massive die here to represent a massive ending.
Let's see.
Now, I took it off the board because if your board is magnetized, that actually messes up the die roll, and I forgot about that. So I won't roll on the...
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I'm sure it's just as random, but it makes me feel better that it's not magnetized. All right, here we go. Roll. Where'd it go?
It flew off the table.
Oh, no. Okay, I got to roll a regular die then. Oh, it was a 6, but no, finished off with a 3, and the soldier goes down. Ooh. Congratulations.
No, that's where that goes, right over there.
Into the cemetery.
Ha!
Yeah.
Good game, man.
Yeah, it was. I thought I was devastated, and I managed to get through 4 more guys. So I was surprised by that finish. So, like you said, you can turn things around with a couple quick moves. I think the blind sides are huge, and the surge points are huge to really try to turn the tide quick. From what I've seen in the couple games I played with you.
Cool. Yeah. I think that it took us a while to arrive at like an economy, an action point economy that felt deliberate. For a while we basically were auto feeding players 2 surge points every round, and we realized that there was a cleaner and more like choice driven way to inject those into the game, and this is what we got.
No, it's very cool. I've just showing the audience your rule book here. It's very graphically oriented, so if what we were doing seems a bit intimidating, the rule book is well defined and showing you adjacencies and blind sides and special tactics. So I love how you've incorporated your actual board into multiple pages of your rule book. That'll be handy. And
Thanks.
And I know when I was trying to learn it the first time by myself, it was a bit hard, but you've really streamlined it since then. So it's come a long way, and I'm looking forward to seeing what this does on Kickstarter. Do you have a launch date determined, or is it just a month planned right now?
Right now, I could say this is exclusive if I actually believed in my bones that we were going to launch on that date. But I'm thinking July 21st. But that's not carved in stone. Sometime in the summer, probably in the middle to late summer.
Very cool. And you've got some giant figures here. Now, we didn't play with these this turn, but there is a skirmish figure that's 2 squares wide.
Yeah.
And then there's another one called a graveless that is also 2 wide, I think. So those are pretty neat.
It's misspelled on the thing when you hover over it. It's actually the Grave Liath.
The Grave Liath. All right. So those things are gargantuan. And are these in the planned game or no?
So initially we had started thinking like this campaign might do kind of well, and we better have some stretch goals ready to go. we started to develop some guys, and we realized that the cost associated with doing another set of molds for these other dudes would run our stretch goals into some pretty choppy waters, considering we're a first-time funder. So we just want to make things simple, and we're going to save them for an expansion.
Yeah, that works. I like how this Grave Liath has is that a spot to hold a die inside its head?
No, that is called the Brain Grave. It is a mechanism, that is a key phrase that is used only for this token. And basically, he has a passive ability called a token trait called Shallow Grave, where the first time a zombie you control dies, if the Brain Grave is empty, instead of going to the cemetery, it goes in the Brain Grave. And every time you hit your refresh step, if there's a zombie in the Brain Grave, it enters into a space surrounding the Grave Liath.
That's fantastic. That looks very cool. And then over here, we have season 2 of Token Terrors just on display. You guys are playtesting these now, so they are not part of the game, but it just shows that you guys are invested in Token Terrors and there's a future ahead of it. So if you play and like season 1, you know that there's more to come. Are these planning to be compatible to battle season 1 figures?
Yeah, so right now, the reason that we put them into TTS, and they are playable, and Token Terrors Ultimate Edition is like public to play for anybody watching this. You can try it out. We put Season 2 because, yeah, we want player feedback, we want community engagement, and they need to be balanced. They're very, very powerful. They're probably a little too powerful. I've started mixing them up with Season 1 and putting Season 1 up against them and trying to see what it's like, looking at different synergies, and also just building teams based on theming. So, like, doing an all vampire and zombie for a horror build kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, yeah, they're super fun. We do have, like, a tons of expanded material for Token Terrors. We want to be able to do 6 new creatures every year.
Wow.
And, yeah, because the sky's the limit. I mean, I love designing the miniatures. My partners are kicking a ton of butt doing stuff. The graphic design and the 3D rendering from my partner Tim, and the artist systems getting from Shannon, and the dev team Lucas and Phil. Everybody's just doing a lot of great stuff, and we got tons more content ready to go. We just got to get over the first hump of funding this first one.
Yeah, just gotta get the first part unleashed, and who knows where this could go. It's really cool to see you've got that whole team gelling, and you've been at it for quite some time. So any of the mistakes that you had in the early part of design and development are starting to wash away, and I think you guys are probably kind of streamlining what it takes to build a card, to build a mini, to incorporate into the game. So I think you're going to be in a much more professional state than some first-time creators when they dive in and launch a game before it's ready. I mean, you guys are all over this, so love to see it, and I'm sure anybody that's watching this video, hopefully you're intrigued by what you saw in the game. It has a ton to offer, and we'll be there to support you.
Well, thanks a lot, Wes. I really appreciate you having me on and playing the game of Token Terrors with me, man. We should do this again sometime if you're up for it. Yeah, thanks so much.
All right, my pleasure. Signing off right now.